What do you want of me? I did not choose to live on this island for its ambience. I chose it so I wouldn't have to entertain fools. Leave me be. I'm no one of any importance. Just an old soul who wishes to be left alone. As I have already asked of you, I might point out. Ah, searching for the great Nasruddin. Ha! The great Nasruddin. What was so great about him? Damned fool, if you ask me.
What? Sir, I recommend that you show a little more respect to the great elf who saved this world. You are entitled to your own opinions, but I suggest you keep them to yourself.
Quite a fiery young woman, aren't you? And who are you to tell me about Nasruddin? He was little more than bones and bravado, always talking too much, and generally making a mess of things. Worthless old blowhard he was, little more.
Are you trying to provoke me, old man? Because I can tell you right now I'm in no mood for it. One more comment like that about Nasruddin and it will be your last. Do we understand one another?
You know, you're so much prettier when you're not twisting your face up like that. You remind me of a girl I once knew. She was a child, but so very bright for her age. I expected great things out of her.
Really? And who was this girl? Was she elven?
Yes. Beautiful little flower of a girl. She had the most wonderful name. Let's see, what was it? I suppose it would translate to something like the Bright One or the Silver One.
Yes, I also know someone like that. She used to tell me about a great man she once knew. She told me that he taught her a great many things, that he was much like her own father.
Ah, yes. Make sure to pass on my greetings to your mother. She was such a wonderful child. And it seems she has a wonderful daughter as well. Greetings, Princess Raven.
I will pass on your greetings to her. It will make her very happy to know you are here among us. Greetings, Nasruddin.
I would say in all my glory, but I'm afraid I haven't any left. No. I delivered the world to Aranax. I put in place the system that he felt was his for the taking. I even imparted my elven arrogance to him. I must bear full responsibility for his actions. You do not understand. He was my son. I taught him everything. Only to see him be carried away by his youthful temper. I should have seen it. There must have been a way to stop him before it came to what it did. It started in the Age of Legends. I was young, headstrong. I thought I could take on the world, and I did. I fought the good fight to protect the lesser races, as I arrogantly called them, from the chaos that raged everywhere. Dragons, demons, evil sorcerers, I fought them all and won. And this, all before even the days of the Elven Council. I gathered a group of idealistic mages together, and we created an Elven Council, for the good of all. We really believed that. For a time, I suppose it was even true. I really believe things began to change when we discovered a way to banish things from this plane of existence. It was the ultimate weapon. Once something was banished from this plane of existence, it could never return. With ultimate power comes ultimate responsibility and ultimate corruption. We were quick to use it on new and ever more terrible threats. The Bane of Kree, Krakatur, Gorgoth, Kurgan. Sometime during all this heroic carnage, my son came of age. I quickly ushered him into the council, amidst some of the others' protest about his young age and inexperience. And then it all came crashing down upon me. Look, are you certain you really want to hear all this self-pitying drivel? He had taken it upon himself to keep the balance, as he termed it. He believed that being a member of the Council validated any course of action he chose to pursue. This meant attacking anything he saw as a threat, such as a city that had begun building advanced technological devices. Vendegroth, it was called. He warned them to cease their destructive behavior and destroyed one of their factories to underscore his point. Justifiably afraid for their very lives, they swiftly constructed a device that could destroy even the most powerful wizard. He responded by calling on forces that few of us had ever seen, and wiping not just the city, but the whole province of Vendegroth from the face of Arcanum with one blow. He felt himself betrayed when the Council condemned his actions. He showed no remorse. In his arrogance, he was sure he would be vindicated. I cast the deciding vote to banish my own son. "If I must die, I will be the last," he screamed as he hurled the spell that brought an end to the Council, the Age of Legends, and my will to live. It was a harsh dawn that morning on the plains of Brodgar, and it was there in the shadow of the Black Spire that our armies met in the most terrible battle that Arcanum has ever seen. As the sun set, only 4 of us were still alive to witness the destruction we had brought to pass. I found Aranax among the corpses of our decimated armies, and it was there that I condemned my own son to the void. It was only through our combined might that Aranax was subdued, and I watched my own son fall into the horror of the void. But such was the fury and power unleashed by this conflict that the very fabric of reality was torn asunder. With our remaining energy, we were able to seal the rift with powerful wards, and the Ring of Brodgar still stands today as a monument to my son's destructive pride and my own unforgivable failure. When I regained consciousness, I was on the shore of Thanatos. I'd regained just enough energy to seal myself in a regenerative shell. I remained that way for 1,000 years. No one had ever stayed in a shell for anywhere near that amount of time. Somehow, my magical hibernation extended my life much beyond that of even the most powerful elven mages. The world out there is not mine. It only serves to remind me of my failure. Everyone I knew, everything I held dear is gone. I myself should have died long ago. Besides, I do not fancy being worshipped as a god. I pity you, then. I received a taste of their hero worship from Mannix, and I can tell you I didn't like the taste of it one bit. I'm well aware of the whole Panari tomfoolery, yes. When I emerged from my regenerative state, I traveled to the mainland. I suppose I thought I could somehow live among the world again. After I spoke with that Mannix fellow, I knew I was deluding myself. He did not know much, mostly some fanciful notions mixed with bits and pieces of history. As near as I was able to put together from speaking with him, Kryn Urden, the last surviving member of the Council, started the Panari simply to maintain the wards, to periodically strengthen them, as it were. After I listened to his insane beliefs for what seemed like hours, I hinted that I had actually known Nasruddin. He was already too far gone. He would not have believed any of my protests or denials of my godhood. He most likely would have interpreted the whole thing as some sort of test, I suppose. Yes, word of that eventually reached my ears. I can only assume that somehow he realized who I was and began talking about his visitation. I've not the slightest idea where the Ascension piece of the legend originated from. I feel as if I've been waiting to hear those words since I awoke those many years ago. I had hoped it would never come to this. From your tale, I can only surmise that the Black Mountain clan were banished to the void to construct some sort of technological device to nullify the wars. Why, Ananias? Why can't you see the folly of the path you've chosen? What are you going to do about this situation? I fear there is nothing I can do. I am old, tired. I do not believe I could stand up against my son now, even if I could find the heart to try.